Today we're throwing it back to my mama. I'm inspired by a road trip we took a few years ago to Georgia to find a new home. I don't remember much. I knew we were looking for a home and we probably found one. But what I do remember is the fried chicken. You see, they put the chicken in the back with me. Bad idea. And today I'm going to replicate that dish. Served hot or cold, fried chicken's good at any temperature. Accompanying my buttermilk fried chicken is a crunchy, creamy blue cheese salad with cranberries running through it. Grab a blanket or a Snuggie. We're about to turn this kitchen into a comfy food spot. My name is Devon Vincent Bryan. I work for Residential Life and Housing. However, when I'm not in my office, I can be found in a market or a kitchen. I enjoy making dishes that are smart, simple, and shareable. Together, I know that we can turn your kitchen into a food spot. The Food Spot is sponsored in part by Big Y, a world-class market. I'm going to start you off with an important tip. The good base for any good fried chicken actually starts before the chicken enters the room. It starts with a good oil. You see different kinds of oils, and we use them in the kitchen for different reasons. An important factor being smoke point, the temperature at which oil begins to smoke. For this reason, I'm using today peanut oil. Peanut oil has a higher smoke point than vegetable oil, but it also has a flavor. So we're adding flavor from the frying component of our dish. In addition to using flavorful oil, we're also going to season our oil with garlic, rosemary, oregano, and thyme. Come in and take a closer look. I'm going to take this back to the stove, bring it up to temperature, and then be right back to put together our dipping station. So we talked about seasoning our oil, and that's coming to temperature. And we're to season our meat and season our flour. That's the next important tip about fried chicken. Every part of it needs to be seasoned. Not just the batter, not just the oil, but at every stage. The seasoning for our chicken is a combination of sriracha, which is a spicy hot sauce, and buttermilk. Buttermilk's different than whole milk or heavy cream, in that it actually helps break down and makes the chicken a lot more tender. Put that aside and look at our flour. All-purpose flour will be fine. I had to put it in a large bowl so that when I'm dredging and coating this chicken, I have a lot of space to work with. In addition to our flour, there will be a liberal helping of salt. This is the only part of the chicken that has salt. We won't be adding salt to our dredge, so make sure there's a lot there. Best friend of salt, pepper. And I'm actually using two different types of pepper today. We're using cayenne pepper, but also red chili flakes. And my rule of thumb is just to sprinkle enough seasoning to cover the entire top layer of our dish. The actual measurements may vary, and you will decide what you want more or less of. You like it really hot? More sriracha, more red chili flake, more cayenne. Less so? Less of these things. Then we're going to round out our meal with some garlic powder, onion powder, and something that I'm always confused about, but I find to be really helpful, is paprika. The flavor isn't very apparent. When it's missing, you know that it is. I like it not only for its taste, but because it adds a little bit of color to the browning process of our chicken. Stir, get everything connected, everything mixed through. And we're gonna let our chicken sit in the refrigerator for no less than 2 hours, but no more than 24. After that, it gets a little dicey. So when you come back, it'll been 2 hours, we'll be able to start dredging our chicken. So it's been about 2 hours, and our chicken is thoroughly marinated. Here comes the fun part. And I recommend that you have hands dedicated to each task. This will be my wet hand, the one holding the chicken. And this will be my dry hand. We're gonna run the chicken through our batter. And one time through is great. It'll fry, it'll be crunchy, but I'm actually gonna go back into our batter, because 2 times is even better. And from our flour, we're actually going to let our chicken sit, which brings us to the third tip. Some folks will flour their chicken and then put it directly into the pan. The problem is your flour hasn't yet adhered to the chicken. It's still figuring out what's happening. We've marinated it, it's wet, you put some brown stuff on it, some flour. It needs time to hold on to that. So we're going to let that sit on a baking rack. Today I'm using legs and thighs. You can use whatever piece of chicken you'd like. I happen to like dark meat. I think it's a lot more flavorful. I think there's a lot more going on there. Yes, it's a little more fatty, but so worth it because you're not having fried chicken every day. And again, one time through, two's even better. I'm gonna keep doing this, and when we're done, we'll move back to the back stove. Our chicken has been marinated. It has been coated twice in our flour. I'm gonna put it on the back station to sit for 20 minutes. So, we know that the oil is hot enough and that this is ready to be removed because of how brown our garlic has turned. We're gonna just go ahead and fish everything that's in the oil out. And we're not gonna throw this away. This is a flavor bomb. We can keep this for garnish, for additional adding at the end of our dish. I'm just gonna scoop out all that goodness, leaving all the flavor behind. And as I do that, I'm actually gonna turn our heat up just a little more. Ideal cooking temperature for fried chicken is 350 degrees, and I'm pretty sure, even without a thermometer, that we've achieved that. Why? Because that's the temperature that these vegetables brown at. Remember, we put our chicken aside to sit for our flour to cohege to our chicken, but it's time to drop those into the oil. And as I do that, I want to make sure we're clear about what's happening here. We're putting it in the oil just for it to form a golden brown. We'll be finishing our chicken in a 350 degree oven. This is hot oil, folks. Be careful, safety first. Be careful not to overcrowd your pan, using 2 to 3 pieces of chicken at a time. The chicken is cold, and it will bring the temperature of the oil down just a little bit, so don't rush it. Good fried chicken is worth the wait. Well, looks like batch 1 is done. We're gonna set those aside. Remember, we're only going for golden brown. We're not trying to cook it all the way to the bone. That's what our oven's for. And I've chosen to increase the oven temperature to 450. Why? Because I'm hungry now, and I want to eat. Remember, as soon as we add our chicken, it will bring the temperature down. And we're not going to overcrowd the pan. We're looking at 2 to 3 pieces each time. Let's let the oil do its thing. Well, looks like we are almost done. We're going to pull out our last few pieces. And for the last time, folks, these are golden brown on the outside. We still have to finish them in the oven, which, as a reminder, I've set to 450 degrees. I've also placed in the oven a sheet rack with another baking sheet. I'm going to put our chicken parts on this new baking sheet. This is the part that looks like KFC. You go and you order your chicken, they come out on these racks. Makes sense. And the reason that they do it is so that heat can go both above and under the chicken, keeping it crispy on both sides. We're going back in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes, and while we do that, we'll start our salad. Okay folks, let's see the fastest salad ever. We're going to take our romaine and we're going to cut off the hard bit. No good to anyone, no nutritional value, it's out of here. Then we're going to thinly slice down or julienne our lettuce. We're going to roll and tuck, right? Keeping everything really tight and under control. I like the idea of a salad with something like fried chicken. One, it makes me feel better about myself that I'm having vegetables with something clearly not good for me. And two, the contrast of textures, the contrast of temperatures, I think is really great. What are we adding to this? We're going to add a little bit of cranberries. adding some blue cheese. I like to buy them crumbled. No need to do the work of breaking up blue cheese on your own. I happen to like blue cheese, so... And I'm using a blue cheese ranch dressing. One, to just kind of drive home the blue cheese flavor. And when we're gonna do our saucing for our salad, we sauce from the edges. Why? Because we could always pull in more from the edge. If we were to dump the entire container over, there's no way to pull our sauce factor back. And while I probably should use 2 forks for this, I'm gonna get in there with my hands. They're clean. Like you can see how much is happening, where the sauce is needed, pulling things from the bottom up to the top. Started from the bottom all the way here. Okay. And no good salad's complete without a few bits of croutons. By a few, I mean a whole pack. Do you like cranberries? I do too. Okay, so our fried chicken's in the oven at 450. Has been now for 15 minutes, cooking all the way through to the bone. I'm gonna plate up our salad. And while I do this, why don't we go ahead and take a look at our guest spot for the day.
Hi guys, I'm Dale Wacht. I'm a first year and I live in JSC.
Hi, I'm Julianne Murphy. I'm also a first year and I also live in JSC.
And we decided to come on the food spot because, well, I heard about it from Devon and it sounded like a lot of fun. Good food, good fun, so it seemed like something worth doing.
Yeah, and I'm here for the same reasons I heard from Dale. We're both on the meal plan here at Clark, so we don't cook that often.
Yeah.
Right.
I really like cooking, but, you know, it's not something I had a lot of chance to do, so it's a lot of fun to be on a cooking show, you know, get involved again.
Yeah,
great.
I think I could probably count on one hand the amount of times we made something here, right?
Yeah.
We made cupcakes and cheesecake, and
What else have we made?
we made something recently. What? Brownies.
We made brownies. But it's been mostly
Yeah,
baking.
baking.
But I miss cooking a lot, so this is a great time.
It is, and I'm excited to learn how to fry chicken. I've never fried anything, actually.
It's true. Deep
Looks
frying
really
seems like a lot of fun. Peanut oil, sriracha, it looks great. Really excited to try it.
Okay, we're almost there, folks, and I hope you know how much this is worth it. I'm gonna plate up a few pieces of our chicken. Leg, thigh, more leg, more thigh. And remember those bits from earlier? The items we fried our chicken in? Well, they're back. They're important. Just gonna add a bit all over the plate. Let them know what this was cooked in. There's some garlic there. There's some thyme. Rosemary was a part of this. That's it. That's our fried chicken. Join me at the table. Okay, folks, and here we have it, my buttermilk fried chicken on top of a salad with a blue cheese dressing with some cranberries rolled in. Dig in. Let me know what you think. Fork. I don't know what I'm doing with that. Oh, fun.
Very good.
Let's kill the moon.
I love the kick.
The cayenne.
Yeah.
I'm not tasting that yet.
I'll get to you. Okay.
Yum.
I'm gonna talk for myself. This is gonna get really messy really quickly. So I'd like to share on behalf of my guests, my crew, and myself, we wish you happy cooking and even better, happy eating. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.